did Dak Prescott do? He's moving down the checklist in the road to an MVP. What's he got to do? Beat the Seahawks. Check. Still got to handle the Eagles. Still got to handle the Bills. But for now, it's all about what he did versus the Seahawks. If I'm looking at my updated MVP ballot, as it stands now, after looking at even more film, I still like Jalen Hurts at number 1 based upon his record and his most recent performance, 5 touchdowns versus the Bills. But Dak Prescott, he has ascended to the number 2 spot. He finally beat a team with the winning record in convincing fashion. Patrick Mahomes is at number 3. Interestingly, I realize I got my 3 quarterbacks, then I have my non-quarterback. That's why Trent Williams is ahead of Tua now at the 4 spot. The Niners are one of the best teams in football. I believe Trent Williams is the engine that makes that system go. And lastly, Tua Tagovailoa rounding it out at 5. But today is about Dak Prescott, James Jones. Today is about Dak Prescott's phenomenal performance. Today is about the leaps and bounds that Dak Prescott has taken in your eyes and in the eyes of you at home, the viewer. Is Dak closer, a step closer in your mind to winning MVP of the league?
Absolutely. I mean, if we all watched that game last night, the Dallas Cowboys won that game because of Dak Prescott. One of my good brothers on this show, man, he sits on the end over there. He told me that, what if this defense don't play well? What if things ain't going the right way? Can Dak be that guy to do that? Which was very true. Last night, Dak showed you, don't trip. You want to give up 34 points and 400 yards? I got you 41 points. Not one punt. Went up and down the field on the Seattle Seahawks. But not only that, with our own 2 eyeballs, we, all 4 of us up here, can say Dak Prescott was clearly the best player on that field last night by the way he played, with his legs, with his arm, getting out of sacks. Dak Prescott played a phenomenal football game. He absolutely moved up in the MVP standings and showing the world that I'm like that. This streak that Dak Prescott's on is some of the best football he's ever played in his career.
Oh, yeah, I think this season is the best football that he's ever played in his career.
Coach Mike.
Listen. Listen. You've been talking about it all season long. I think Coach Mike does deserve a lot of credit. Now, if I give Coach Mike credit, it's going to sound like I'm not giving Dak credit, so I'm going to let you do that. Because apparently if I just point out facts like Dak Prescott is having the best season of his career, and everyone thought it was Kellen Moore last year, and now he's gone, and he's not doing that well in the Chargers. I digress. The point is, yes, Dak Prescott was the best player on the field last night. He was the reason that they won. I can already see the narrative starting to spin about the Dallas Cowboys defense starting to let down the Cowboys offense. I can see it coming, and it's already happening. It's going to get very exciting over the next couple weeks when we find out who's to blame for what happens with the Cowboys. That's just to, put that note out there. Dak was great yesterday. Dak was the reason that they won. It was their first win over a team with a winning record since week 2. So we had those questions that got answered. Whatever you think of the Seahawks, which obviously they're now a 500 team due to that loss, they played a great game as well. We didn't know what to expect from the Seahawks. They were coming off of some questionable performances, and they really gave the Cowboys some work, and the Cowboys overcame it because of Dak Prescott. So, yes, he's definitely taken a step closer, and now we have a very interesting stretch of games coming up. Well, he'll get to add to that resume.
Yeah, I will say that for me, I don't think it changes the MVP race. I will say, though, that performance last night, it kind of put it in perspective. Okay, now it's a real conversation with Dak Prescott. Right now, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Jalen Hurts, and then you got Dak Prescott. Now it's like a real conversation where I think every week it matters. How he plays, how Jalen plays, how Pat plays. But to say last night he just moved up because of that performance, I can't give you that. I just think now it's a realistic situation now. I mean, Dak Prescott, see, I tell people all the time with the Dallas Cowboy fans, this is not personal with Dak. I don't even know the guy. So I'm always honest. If he's playing bad, I say it. He's playing good, I say it. He's playing phenomenal right now. This is the best I've ever seen Dak Prescott play. Small things like he's using his legs a lot better. He looks a little bit more elusive. His ball placement. There's a pass to CD Lamb in the end zone.
A drop one?
No, not even a drop one. I mean, that was dangerous. Your boy should have caught that pick.
Q?
Yeah. But anyway, I'm talking about the touchdown. Yep. That's a dot. I'm not used to seeing him throw dots like that. So I am impressed the way he's been playing, and I don't care nothing about the competition. Yes, I would love to see him play against better competition and do them things, but it's the NFL, right? And he doesn't make the schedule. He's balling out. The only question I do have about Dak is he always has a little question mark, Joey Taylor. When I watch Dak for all these years, I feel like he's the best when everything is cool and collected. When everything's going good, right? Everything's going well for the offense. He's confident, right? Even his interviews is different, right? His interviews is just, You know what I mean? He make a play, he start flexing like he's a different type of dude when things are going right.
Yeah.
It's when things are going bad, right? It's when you may be on the road. It's when you playing the Niners at home, right? We need that same Dak Prescott from last night against them type of teams. And when things go bad, then you start seeing the head dropping. Then you start hearing the interviews. Well, you know what? It's not us. You know, the media, y'all picked us to be this great. Because he's done it before. So all I'm saying is, I love the way Dak Prescott is playing right now. I just got to see the same type of behavior, same type of swagger, same type of plays being made when things are not perfect, when the offense are not gelling, when you getting touched more by defensive ends, when people's more in your face, when you may throw a pick, you may throw 2 picks, how do you respond? DaRon Bland last night, yeah. I was so happy that he was getting beat like that. You know why? Because everybody praises you when everything's going good. Mm-hmm. How do you bounce back when you getting picked on? They was picking on him.
It was.
And what did he do? He made a play. That's what great players do. I got to see that from Dak Prescott. That's all. Right now, it's good right now.
Let me push back, though. Wouldn't you say that Dak Prescott, he saw some of that? Remember, he's getting tackled. He's getting sacked by a linebacker for the Seahawks. Says, get up off me, throws a strike. Remember, he throws a dart to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb drops it. I believe there was a 4th down. CeeDee Lamb runs a quick out route. CeeDee Lamb drops that one as well. Don't you think sometime yesterday even, Dak Prescott got let down by his team? Remember, the Seahawks didn't punt either. So the Cowboys defense didn't do their part. Didn't Dak do enough yesterday?
That's a great question. And I'm going to say no, he didn't, right? Because I'm going to tell you why.
I'm listening.
As a unit, yeah. What about when you're the one that's blamed? I just gave you an example of DaRon Bland, him getting picked on, him messing up. So we need to see Dak miss a read, throw a pick. We need to see that. Fumble, what happens? We need to see that. How do you respond? Because normally when I see him respond, it ain't responding like that. It ain't responding with a whole 4 touchdowns. It ain't that. So that's what I want to see. When you ask me about when things are going bad, I'm not talking about just the offense, right? Because you can point that. Yeah, CD dropped that. Hey, hold on, coach. He missed that block. Oh, coach. I put it in his hands. He dropped it. I want to see when he messes up, how he responds. And every Dallas Cowboy fan, I don't care who you are, because deep inside, you know what I'm talking about. You know them games, right? You're supposed to win. It's a good game. It's a good team. And Dak starts slipping a little bit with the plays, with the picks. And you like, oh, here it goes again. When that happens, I want him to respond. Hey, here it go again.
Yeah, but you got to give some credit to him not letting that stuff happen, though, Shady.
I didn't give him credit. What you want me to say about the dude? I just said he balling out.
I know, but it's always a but.
Yeah, well, that's football.
Like, dude is doing an excellent job right now, so them picks don't happen, so them fumbles don't happen, so them sacks don't happen. Like, he's doing a great job of that.
I get that, but I do think it has a lot to do with, we keep talking about they're not doing this against a winning team, right? I mean, he did this against the 6-5 Seahawks. I guess we don't count this as a winning team. Yeah, they barely hold on. All I want to say is I want to see this when it matters most. I want to see this against the Niners. I want to see this against the Philadelphia Eagles on the road and get a win. I want to see that. That's all I want to see.
Well, what I want to see is the Cowboys play that really complete game against a good team. Yesterday, we saw the Cowboys' Joy Taylor offense was phenomenal, but their defense, obviously, they didn't do great. The Seahawks quite literally did not punt the entirety of that game. Yeah. Great day for Michael Dixon, the Seahawks punter. He didn't have to do any work, and he still gets to cash his check. I'm happy for him. But with that being said, Joy, are you still concerned about the Cowboys despite the victory?
Any concerns I had about the Cowboys, whether they won or lost this game, are really not going to change. I think the Cowboys are a great team this year. They're one of the top teams in the league. They have one of the top rosters in the league. They have one of the top quarterbacks in the league. They have talent everywhere. They're coached by a Super Bowl winning head coach. They have all of the formula to get to and win a championship. I think they also had that last year. What it always comes down to for the Cowboys with me is situationally. What do you do when the lights are brightest? What do you do when something isn't going your way? Alluding to what Shady said, but in the biggest moments. That's why when we go back and forth week to week with the Cowboys, I'm like, cool. But they're going to make the postseason. They're one of the top teams in the league. They should be beating these bad teams. If they lose to the Eagles twice in the regular season, but then beat them in the postseason, what did it matter? They are one of those teams that has equity with me during the regular season. So my concerns with the Cowboys are going to be, can you beat the Niners in the postseason if you see them? Can you match up with them? Can you overcome what that defense does to you offensively? What Shanahan has planned for you? Can you beat the Eagles in the postseason? Those are the questions that I have for the Cowboys. The Cowboys have been playing great football in the stretch. Dak Prescott has been playing the best football of his life. McCarthy is coaching his tail off.
Oh, yeah, he is, though.
He is. And they're overcoming adversity mid-game. I don't think that the Seahawks are really that great of a team, but they do have a lot of talent. Pete Carroll is a Super Bowl winning coach, and they had a good game plan. And they were matching blow for blow with them yesterday as well. So I think that was a good, to me, that's the best win the Cowboys have this season.
Yeah. And I would say this, though. This is why I'm not tripping when I talk about confidence, right? When Dak Prescott's confident, he's a way different player. If you can just go back to the first 6 games, right? He had 6 touchdowns and 4 picks, correct?
Yes, sir.
But do you see that the game plan? The game plan that Mike McCarthy set for Dak Prescott was so conservative, so safe. And I'm thinking, like, if this is the MVP that people think, right? Everybody's like, oh, he should be MVP. Why are you giving him a conservative offensive game plan, like a rookie, like a second-year player? Why is that?
Got to get a feel for him.
Okay, so when I look at it, all right, well, he thinks the same thing I think. Let's build this dude's confidence up, like he's a young player. Let's build his confidence up, and let's get him playing where now he goes out there and he's flexing a little bit. So now we open the playbook a little bit more. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger for him. Now you see he's throwing the ball deep. He's running. He's doing everything. Now they got even the RPOs where he's actually running. So I'm thinking, now that Dak Prescott is more confident, now you let the offensive playbook open up for him. That's why he's having so much success. And I'm not hating on him. I think he's playing phenomenal right now. I just got to see it when you're not confident. Okay. And then if you lose a little confidence, if you're not playing as well, what's your coach do? Right? Because to build you up, he got a small playbook for you. Then the better you got, the more confidence you got. I'm going to open it up a little. So now what happens when you have a bad game and now, because we've seen it before with Dak Prescott. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'm not concerned about Dak, but I am actually still concerned about the Cowboys. The reason is the Cowboys aren't who I want them to be. I want the Cowboys to be elite. I want to put the Cowboys in the same conversation as the Eagles, and I want to put the Cowboys in the same conversation as the Niners. But when I see what the Cowboys did to the Seahawks yesterday, they did win. But remember, the Seahawks played the Niners a week before, and the Niners beat the Seahawks down.
They beat them up.
The Seahawks have played the Cowboys. The Niners have played the Cowboys, and the Niners beat the Cowboys down. So I can't say that the Cowboys have jumped into that conversation with the Niners and or the Eagles, because when the Niners saw the Cowboys, the Niners won. And when the Cowboys saw an opponent that was mutual to the Niners and the Seahawks, the Niners beat the Seahawks significantly worse than the Cowboys beat the Seahawks. So the reason I'm still concerned, James, about the Cowboys isn't because I don't think they're good. The reason I'm concerned is they haven't yet ascended to that place of greatness that I want to see them ascend to, even in the regular season. Are they good? Beyond the shadow of a doubt. Of course they're good. But when I see what the Niners are doing to the Seahawks, when I see what the Niners are doing to the Cowboys, when I see what the Eagles are doing to everybody, when I see what the Eagles are doing to the Cowboys, I'm still saying to myself, the Cowboys aren't in that cream of the crop just yet.
Well,
that's my concern.
See, for me, I believe they are, because I thought this game was really the best thing that could have happened to the Cowboys. You've been blowing people out. We give the Eagles so much credit on this show and Jalen Hurts so much credit. Why? Because the defense got to step up and make a play? They do. The offense got to step up and make a play? They do. They're not blowing nobody out, but they're winning close football games when it matters. Either side of the ball. Hey, it's your go. Go stop Josh Allen from scoring a touchdown so we can get the rock back. They do. When Jalen Hurts gets the ball back, he goes down there and scores. And we praise him for that. Right? They played a solid football team that had a really good game plan. It came down to the wire, was blow for blow. At the end of the day, the quarterback made the drive to go score, and then you come back and your best defensive player, even though he was unblocked, makes the play. DeMarcus Lawrence on 4th and 1 stops him, makes the play. That's winning football. So for me, it's a week-to-week league. Seahawks, I believe, had a terrible day. Geno tripping over his running back's foot, almost for a safety. It's a lot of stuff happens in a football game. But when you talk about coming with some adversity and winning a game the right way, a game that I think the Cowboys needed to win instead of just blowing people out, I thought this was big, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a really good point. We do praise the Eagles for that, because after that game was over, I was like, that's a game Cowboys usually lose. Yeah. That's a game the Cowboys usually lose. That's why I think it's the best win that they've had this season. Not because they didn't blow them out. Yeah, okay, you blew out the Giants. What are the Giants now? What does that win look like now? Yes, it was dominant. Yes, you didn't give up any points. Congratulations. This win's way more impressive to me than 40-0 against the Giants, because you had to come back, because all those things did happen, because the defense wasn't their best, and because you had to rely on a player in Dak Prescott who does have some confidence issues from time to time and can make the wrong choices in big games like that. This was the last win that they've had against a team with a winning record since the Jets. And the Jets only had that win because Josh Allen turned the ball over 4 times. So I do think that it is a week-to-week league, but this win was more impressive than all of the other wins, all the other blowouts that they've had this season, because they had to find a way to win.
Does this win, because it doesn't for me, what this win didn't do for me is move up my perception of the Cowboys. It moved up my perception of Dak Prescott. It didn't move up my perception of the Cowboys. Reason being, y'all know I believe in the Seahawks in large part because my friend Quandre Diggs is out there. But the real reason is I saw what the Ravens did to the Seahawks and what the Ravens have done in totality. I saw what the Niners did to the Seahawks and what the Niners have done in totality. Then I saw what the Cowboys did to the Seahawks, and it didn't look the same. So did this win, James, make you more confident that the Cowboys can beat the Niners and the Eagles? Does this win do that for you? Because it didn't for me.
It did, because I watched the Philadelphia Eagles go to overtime with the Washington Commanders, who the Cowboys beat the brakes off of. You know what I'm saying? Is the Eagles a good football team? You know what I'm saying? I watched the Jets beat the Philadelphia Eagles and seen the Cowboys die. You know, so it's a week-to-week league. But this game gave me more confidence strictly because, like Shady says, you need your best players at their best when the game is on the line. And that was Dak Prescott the whole game.
Yes, it was.
The ball was in his hands the whole game, and he made every play. Yeah. And when I say every play, like, we can't even really come on here right now and say, that was a bad pass by Dak. We coming on here saying, CD got to catch that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dak played a great game, and that's why they lose those games against the winning teams, because Dak ain't at his best.
Very well.
And right now, Dak is playing at his best.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.